So in this recording, I'm going to go back to the recording I made yesterday, because I noticed that when I say things, a lot of times people interpret things however they want to interpret things, and eventually I'll have some commenter come on my channel and twist it into whatever they want to twist it in, or try to defend these people or whatever. So there's a couple things I want to talk about. All right, first off, the stuff I say, I'm looking at it from a spiritual level, a lot of it, okay, when I talk about rich people, I'm mainly talking about rich people who are claiming that their money comes from God. All right, so if you make that claim, like if I was a church leader and I had $50 million, or someone like that, or a conservative who is spreading Christian values on TV and stuff, that would apply to me more than some billionaire who is an atheist or agnostic or has no affiliation with Christianity, the church, or any of that stuff, right? Like, he's not going on TV sprouting Christian values, ideals. So it applies to these type of people. Now, a lot of people are upset that there is income inequality, and there is people, and I hear them all the time, and they love rich people, and they'll be like, oh, rich people deserve everything they got. I made the point. So if you're rich, you were connected, you had the resources and, everything going for you, and there's going to be people who don't have everything going for them and they have no chance. I also hear people talking about hard work. Well, I already talked about that. I worked as hard as any American could possibly work. It doesn't go anywhere. I worked in a sweatshop. You don't get paid. You don't go anywhere from hard work. You'd have to be pretty stupid. To equate hard work with becoming rich. You're an idiot. You don't know what hard work is. Hard-working jobs don't pay a lot. You work hard for little pay. That's how hard work works. Okay, so what are you talking about? I don't know. They say hard work. I was like, they know these talking points. They'll say, well, Republicans said hard work, and they want to parrot it to us. They said, oh, hard work. What hard work? I mean, what did they do? What did they do that was so hard? Did they work in a sweatshop? Were they in Alaskan fishing industry? What hard work? It doesn't work that way. People work hard and they don't get paid anything. And that's how it is. Like, it has nothing to do with hard work. CEOs don't work hard. I mean, what are you talking about? You're rich because you're connected, or you have, it doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way. People who say that don't know what they're talking about. I don't even know why I'm lowering myself to this level to having to talk about this in the first place. Nobody became rich. I mean, becoming rich means that you have connections, ideas, and all this other stuff. Like, if I had an idea or something, or I knew people, I could come up with ideas, and then I could sell these ideas, and my connections help me along so that I can make things happen. Like, you know how to make things happen. You have resources. Okay? People backing you up, support systems, that's the kind of stuff. Like, I know this guy knows this guy, I know somebody who can do this person is helping me with this, they're backing me financially with this, that, a lot of little things. It has nothing to do with hard work. Hard work is when your grandpa got up and he went and he dug in the coal mines. Okay, that's hard work. All right, you don't know what you're talking about. You literally don't know what you're talking about. So it'd be nice if people stop saying hard work. Have you ever worked hard? Have you ever worked 18 hours a day? Did you work in a sweatshop? What are you talking about? Just please stop talking, please. Okay, because you're making yourself sound stupid. All right, you really are. You sound so stupid. Anyhow, just people with no brain, just parroting stuff. Hard work, like a parrot. I'm like, you have no idea what you're talking about. Just don't say anything. Anyhow, there are people who worked hard. Trust me, there's no pay in working hard. There isn't. All right. Anyhow, so back to the point. Look. As far as rich people go, well, you're of the world. I don't know. I mean, you're of the world. You got your reward. As far as I'm concerned, that's what the Bible says. Rich people, you have your reward. That's in the Bible. What do you want? That's it. Okay, rich people, you have your reward. That's it. Okay, and it makes sense. So I don't need all this. That's the way it is. You have your reward. You live this good life. People work hard. They don't live rich. They work hard. They work in sweatshops. You have the Chinese people that work in sweatshops. They don't get rich. They work hard. They live poor. They get treated badly, and then they die. And we have, monks and nuns. They dedicate their lives to God, and they're poor. They dedicate their lives to God. We live miserable lives on this planet. We go and then we get rewarded in the afterlife. Rich people, you have your reward. That's the way it is. Let's not get all carried away by saying because I kept the money, didn't look out for the poor. I kept the money, and I chose this, and I still live a good life. You chose that. Doesn't matter whether you chose it or not. You're still rich. You are not in our situation. You are not in our situation, okay? I had an uncle, and I don't know if I talked about this uncle. I think I might have mentioned him. I don't know if I mentioned him in the recording. He's rich. He has to be worth a couple million. And he lives thriftily. My cousin and myself never saw him the way we see ourselves. We live with this guy. He's rich. He has millions of dollars. Lives as thriftily as you can live. Had an old car. Never spent money. Never spent it. And every once in a while he took a vacation. It wasn't the fact that he was going out blowing his money. It was the fact that he had it. The power that comes with it. The status that comes with it. The respect. The fact that if you live that way, it's because you chose to. People don't have power over you. Nobody had power over him. He got to make all his own moves. He decided to live that way. The idea that rich people who decide not to buy palaces or on our level is almost an insult. It's insulting for them to assume that. I could go sleep on the side of the road. Feel good about sleeping on the side of the road. If I had $50 million and I slept on the side of the road, I'd actually feel pretty good about it. And then how am I going to go to some person who did it because they had no choice and pretend that we're on the same page when I have hundreds of millions of dollars? So I'm going to sit by this guy. This guy lives like that because he has no choice. He doesn't even know if he's going to be able to eat that day. Well, he's not going to eat that day if people don't allow him to eat that day. And for the rich people to come on and just be like, oh, well, I thought it would be fun or edgy for me to sort of prove something by putting myself voluntarily in this situation, a situation in which I can just leave anytime I want. How is that the same? I was like, well, that is not the same. That is literally not even close to being the same. It's just not the same. And you know it's not the same. Think about it like this. If you really wanted to live that way, then why don't you just give away the money? Because you're going to live that way anyhow. If it didn't matter, people aren't, I hate to have to say this, but people aren't that smart sometimes. If rich people who decided they wanted to live poor were in our situation, then why wouldn't they just become poor? I mean, they can look, if you were rich and you weren't going to spend the money anyhow, and let's assume that the money did not matter. The money did not matter. Well, since the money doesn't matter and you're going to live poor anyhow, you might as well give it away. I mean, you're not going to use it. You're not going to use it. Why not give it away? Literally. Well, why do you think they're not going to give it away? It matters. It definitely matters. Like, that's even more insulting. Like, if they're saying that they're holding on to the money, they're not going to use it, and they're not going to help people with it. I was like, well, if you're going to live poor anyhow, and you're going to be sleeping on your buddy's couch and do that anyhow, what do you need the money for? You should just go ahead and give it away. Like, all these people can use it, you can give it away, and it wouldn't even affect you any. That seems like, that's logical. Doesn't that sound logical? Like, that's smart? If the money didn't matter, if they were going to live like poor people and have the money, why do they need the money? I would have been like, well, you might as well just give it away. I'd have their parrots. They have all these parrots and they just worship these people. Like, these people have no brain. I was like, you have no brain. Well, how is that good? They have all this money they're not even using and they're going to live like us anyhow. Well, why wouldn't they help the people with it? They're not going to even use the money. They might as well just give it away since they're going to live poor anyhow. The parrots. These parrots, they train these parrots to talk, boy. They don't train them to think. That's why I said it'd be great if people didn't talk to me. This becomes redundant, okay? It's almost ridiculous that I have to respond to this nonsense. Nonsense. Parrots chirping along with their mindless chatter. The parrots. These brain-dead parrots parroting these things. I was like, how was that noble? How was that noble? If I wasn't going to use something and I saw somebody needed it, I knew I was never going to use it. It seems like since I wasn't going to use it and this person needed it, it would be nice of me just to give it to them since they needed it. I wasn't going to use it. That makes sense. I mean, if I wasn't going to use it, if it didn't matter. You see, people, this is why it would be great if people just didn't say anything. It would be really great. Just let me do my, help my people here. I actually wanted to clear this up because, the parrots. the parents, like they say these things make no sense. If a rich person was to live poor, he's still rich. I mean, and that money matters. If the money did not matter, he would give it away. He would give it away. If it doesn't matter, he's not using it, why wouldn't he give it away? The same reason my uncle, who lived thriftily, wouldn't give away his money even though he wasn't using it. Trust me, okay? It's the same. I have a rich uncle. I don't know what you consider rich. He's over $1 million. He's definitely over $1 million. And trust me when I tell you, thrifty guy. Like he got to where he got to by being thrifty. But the point is that, dude, it matters. Which is why he didn't look at me like my situation to be like, oh man, your situation sucks. Let me just give you this money. I never use my money. I go on a vacation every year. That's about it. So hopefully that makes sense to people who have the ability to think. That's just, of course, my opinion. With that said, let me close.